Welcome, murderous voodoo dolls, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And hey, we cannot talk about a movie that takes place in Chicago without bringing Mr. Chicago himself, Mr. Kurt Smith. Welcome back.
Hiya.
Hey. It's like I'm watching the movie. We're talking about Child's Play, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm going, this takes place in Chicago. I know who's definitely done this tour.
Yeah.
Child's Play tour.
Here's the building. A lot like Boston, just more stuff overhead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. More elevated railway.
Yes.
Oh god. Yep. And we get a good stuff on the L, and this one takes it to the south side.
Yeah, exactly. Where all the homeless hang out.
Yeah, it seems like there are a lot of neighborhoods that you don't want to go in this movie.
No. It could be worse. It could be like Candyman, where they're just shot at mostly Cabrini Green, one of the most notorious housing projects ever, and shot on location.
So, all right. First question I got to ask both of you. Is this the first time you've seen this movie? Or I'm assuming, Kurt, you've seen this before, right?
Oh, hell yeah, I have. I've seen it a lot since I was a kid, since I was a teenager, so.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Mike?
This was my first viewing.
All right.
I've seen like, I think 2 and 3, but like on the Sci-Fi Channel where it was TV edited for TV. But I don't think I've seen clips from this one, but never the whole thing.
Yeah. I've seen bits and pieces, enough maybe to cobble the whole movie together, but this is the first time I've seen it like from start to finish. From inexplicable voodoo incantations.
Like, why was there voodoo in here? Because we needed a plot.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how the hell else is he supposed to possess the doll? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then, a movie that pretty much ends with Michael Stivick's stunt double. Getting his throat clawed by the armature of a doll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a weird.
This one I saw this a lot on TV when I got into horror as like at like 12 or 13 years old. But I think the first one I remember seeing was Child's Play 3, which is I think at this point the way when I was banned in the UK.
Yes, M brought that up on Verbal Diorama that it may have been a thing with the child murder is supposed to be how Bill Murray gets sucked.
They
were wise, Joe. They were so wise not to do that and just explain that it's just the thing that happens.
But Child's Play 3 got banned over in the UK because of the James Bulger murders that happened like a few months after it was released over there. Because a bunch of like uppity Christian right-wing people like Mary Whitehouse got a bug up their ass to talk about video nasties again, because they needed to talk about that again because it wasn't the 80s anymore. So that got banned, but I don't think this one did.
Yeah, this one
Child's Play 2 didn't either.
Yeah, the funny thing about this movie is I legitimately expected this movie to be scarier. I really, truly did. I feel like there was one really good jump scare in this entire movie. And it's where she discovers that there's no batteries and then the head swivels around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great reveal.
Well, that's actually... That one scene is why it's been since I've seen Child's Play, because back in like probably 89 or 88 or 89 or so, I just happened to be watching TV and Siskel and Ebert were on, and I've seen some of their old shows. They spoil the hell out of movies, and that was the scene they showed in their review of this. I saw that as a 10-year-old, and I was like, I am never watching this movie. And so I've never seen it until now. Because that one clip just scared me so badly that I just never wanted to watch the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got some. It took the Jaws approach, because like in the original script that Don Mancini wrote,
Yeah.
you saw Chucky more, but like when it went through rewrites, when like Tom Holland did a rewrite, and I can't remember who else did the rewrite, they did
Not
the
that
less
Tom
is more
Holland.
kind of a not that Tom Holland, the different Tom Holland, the one who did the Langoliers, the Stephen King made for TV.
John Lafia.
Yeah, yeah. When they did the rewrites, they took the Alien and the Jaws approach.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
You know what, Joe?
Uh,
Yes, absolutely. I've been saying that all month long. We started with The Shining, not scary. American Werewolf in London, when I was 10, yeah, that was kind of scary. This, not so much. Friday the 13th, Part 6, not at all.
well, but you guys didn't watch The Thing or talk about The Thing.
No, that was on me because body horror not really my thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I would love to talk about The Thing with you guys, because that's my favorite John Carpenter, Kurt Russell. I love that. I love the hell out of that movie.
Mine too.
Oh, no, my favorite John Carpenter, Kurt Russell is Big Trouble in China.
Also very good.
Yeah. Kurt. No, Mike and I were discussing what next year's are going to be, and I mentioned one movie which will go unnamed, and Mike's eyes got wide, like, no, like, okay.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. I will not see it again. I expected something very different. I'm just going to come out and say,
movie.
We're not doing Event Horizon.
Oh.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah, I was expecting something very different when I went into theaters. I left the theater knowing I am never going to watch that movie again. And I never have, and I never will.
Yeah. Hey, next year we'll have 4 to 5 weeks as well to come up with a bunch of movies from the 90s. But right now we're still talking about Child's Play.
Yeah.
Right.
What's crazy to me about this cast is just how recent people are from coming off of other things. Catherine Hicks is, upon the time of release...
Smart man.
Catherine Hicks was 2 years at the time of release. Oh, yeah. No, Joe, The Thing.
Yeah, The Thing. Masterpiece
is a chef's kiss horror movie. Mm-hmm. But, as I was saying, Catherine Hicks, at the time of release, was 2 years out from Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home.
And apparently, Leonard Nimoy is the one that got her this role, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Heavily suggested her to the producers.
Now, Chris Sarandon was a year off of Princess Bride, but this hadn't even... Princess Bride hadn't even found its audience by that point. He was also in Fright Night, by the way, which is a very good 80s vampire film.
Actually, I believe Fright Night is what got him this role.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, because Tom Holland did Fright Night.
Yeah.
Not that Tom Holland.
That was it.
I mean, Brad Dourif was in everything.
Oh God, Brad Dourif in this movie is just I love Brad Dourif so much in pretty much everything I've seen him in, even like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies when he plays Sheriff Brackett.
Yeah,
I hate those Rob Zombie Halloween movies, but damn, I love his performance. Cause him and like Malcolm McDowell, because they're like doing the best with shit. And that's what Brad Dourif does. I mean, he was good in like something like The Eyes of Laura Mars or this or oh shoot, I just watched something with him the other day. I can't remember what it was that I really enjoyed. But
you know what's
he was Peter DeVries in '84's Dune.
Oh yeah. Yep, he was also in Dune. Yeah.
What's weird?
And also,
I expected
to say that. What? Go ahead.
I expected Chucky to be a lot funnier in this one because I know I've seen in 2 and 3 he's like really like throwing off those one-liners. This one they tried to do Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, where Freddy is not nearly as interesting as he is in like Part 3.
Right.
Yeah.
When they let them start having a personality, you get more invested in the killer.
Yeah, because like in the later incantations like Bride of Chucky and whatever, he becomes more human, and also oddly enough, like in those later incantations at Child's Play or like Bride of Chucky and whatever in that Brad Dourif was pretty.
Yes. Yes, Joe.
But in the later incantations and like to the sci-fi show that just got canceled, he is really like very queer friendly, which is so cool because Don Mancini is openly gay and that's awesome. I mean, I'm. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
German worm tongue.
Yep. And I actually, this is the one I had to tell my daughter while we were watching this. Like, oh, you know him as Grandma Wormtongue.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's kind of cool that this what was once back in the 80s a controversial horror figure is now like this character that's accepting of queer people and people who
Right.
are gender fluid, and
Well,
that's
I mean,
awesome.
just look at what was it, Seed of Chucky,
Mm-hmm.
where I haven't watched it, but I've read his Wikipedia page, and he's got like a non-binary child.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember Alexis
Pretty cool.
Arquette being in one of the, as either Bride or Seed.
Mm-hmm.
That she was in that one.
Yeah.
But it is funny because this does seem to follow the rule of once you've got your talking movie hit slasher, let's see how it works first if they're really truly terrifying and scary, and then let them become quick machines, which I feel is what happened with Freddy.
Yeah, because like Nightmare on Elm Street 2, he is still scary, and then
Right.
like in Dream Warriors and in Dream Child and Freddy's Dead.
He sure says bitch an
he
awful lot, Rick. Deadly Night stuff. People were more upset.
Oh yeah. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yep. Another one of those mediocre slasher films that got way more controversy that was probably good for it.
Exactly. And if you guys want to hear my impression of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, it's this. Garbage Day!
Oh shoot. Well, yeah.
So many God. Why? It's the 80s and 90s were so rife with just like the worst of the worst. Garbage Day.
Yeah, I can watch that kind of shit with because I got the iron stomach for how many bad movies I've watched, so I don't have an issue with it. It's like that's my bread and butter.
Yeah, you're just doing shots of sriracha at that point, Kurt.
Yeah. So we had the Chicago in this movie, and we got Chicago locations. So I got them on my.
Please.
Their apartment building is the Brewster Building. It's on Pine Grove Avenue, which is Lakeview, which is along Lakeshore Drive, which is along Lake Michigan. The mental hospital was in Kankakee, Illinois, which is a suburb. There are some studio shots. Their interior apartment is a studio set, and the police estate. Well, actually, no. The police station was the Town Hall District Police Station and on Halstead in Lakeview. So there's a lot of Lakeview, and then like the department stores. It's the old Carson Peary Scott department store. Sold that line.
I think it's garbage. The Garbage.
Oh
Day
yeah.
line.
Oh
yeah.
I was like, you're talking about Chucky
Ricky
or Garbage
Chapman,
Day Boy?
But yeah, the department store that Andy's mom works at is the old Carson Peary department store, Scott department store on State Street, which I've been by. Beautiful old like Art Deco kind of gates over the door.
Have you ever bought jewelry there?
I think it's no, but it's a Target now.
Oh, fantastic! Even better. You buy jewelry there too. I'm just trying to figure out, because she's got this gorgeous top floor corner apartment building on a shop girl salary.
Yeah, you can't do that. You couldn't do that in Chicago in 1987 when this movie was being made. You can't do that now.
Right, exactly. And I'm assuming that the husband is dead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they do mention that her husband is dead. So I'm guessing that the money from the like insurance or whatever is what paid for the apartment.
Maybe. Yeah.
Probably.
That's the only thing I can explain.
Yeah, no, and that's a reasonable estimation there. It's funny that we can never have an 80s movie without somebody working in a job that they're given way too much power, being ultra snooty. That's every goddamn. You're right. How do people and friends afford their apartment?
What about Biodome? They have a house and they don't have jobs.
I'm still trying to figure out how Romeo and Michelle afford their apartment in Los Angeles in the late
in Venice.
90s.
Yeah, like in Venice. Yeah, Venice
on the beach.
Penthouse, yeah, lowest.
I mean,
Yeah,
she is an award-winning reporter, though.
Yeah, when you get your first Pulitzer, you can write your own checks on Wall Street.
Sure. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, deep burn, Joe. Deep
Zing.
burn.
And the first time I think on this show we've ever had a Mitzi Shore reference. So
yeah. Oh gosh. Let's see
Yeah.
what else we got. I got my trivia. Let's talk about Alex Vincent as the kid why am I
Andy.
blanking on his name?
Andy.
His name is Andy. His
name's
name is Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
I wonder
couldn't
if he
think
wrote
of it.
his name on the bottom of Chucky's shoe.
Yeah,
With the
and
backwards
reverse,
N.
yeah, the reverse N. But yeah, he's I think he's on par with the kid who played Danny Torrance in The Shining with how good of a kid actor he is. And evidently he was not scared of the animatronic puppets that they used for this movie. He was a trooper for everything, it seemed. He was very happy to be on the set.
Although for the adult actors, it seemed like the only one that kind of gave a damn was Catherine Hicks.
Oh, what about Dina Miner? She took that bump out of the window like a champ.
Chris Sarandon just seemed like he was bored throughout the entire movie.
I'm doing this for the paycheck.
Yep, exactly.
He got his paycheck. He got his paycheck, $9 million budget and a $44 million box office.
Yeah.
Yep, he got that. Yeah, Diana Manhoff's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, he does now because he's done like every Chucky film and TV series and properties since. I mean, he has lived off of the Chucky franchise, which is good for him, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think about actors that get shoehorned into horror. And some people, it's like you can tell how much they genuinely love it. And
like Bruce Campbell and stuff like that.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell, exactly. But then when you look at like modern horror actors, and you're like, man, you're only praying that your fans don't turn on you the second you find mainstream work. And I'm looking directly at you, Mia Goth. I just watched Maxine, by the way, and
I gotta watch a whole bunch of those for my 31 Days of Horror. I think they're all on that.
Oh.
Trust me, I watched the Robot versus the Aztec Mummy yesterday. I think I can handle it.
Okay. No, you'll be fine then. You'll
Now, is this the MST3K version or the non-MST3K?
Oh no! I watched it unriffed on Tubi yesterday for my because I don't love myself enough.
Fair. Yeah, my 31 Days of Horror consists of the Friday the 13th series and Young Frankenstein over and over and over.
I was going to make espresso.
I've been trying to find more horror to watch. I just don't have the time to watch it. So other than like the excuse I have to watch it here, oh God.
Oh, come on, Joe. No.
No.
I'm gonna have to show up to Joe's house and with one of those water bottles to spray cats with, because he doesn't live too far from me. So
that's Frankenstein.
Also, Kevin Yeager, the guy who did the effects, him and Catherine Hicks met and got married after this movie came out, and they're still together today.
Oh, nice.
Kind of like Catherine O'Hara and Bo Welch marrying after meeting on Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. They are a couple.
Definitely the Chucky effects are some of the it's easily the high point of this movie.
Yeah, the animatronic work in this movie is amazing. Yeah, I mean, like Gremlins came out 4 years prior to this, so it kind of showed you like what could be done. But I think this movie kind of took the ball and ran with it a little bit more, because like you see Chucky running and you see him doing this and that. And it's like if you see some of the behind the scene footage of how they achieved this, it's just basic stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basic stuff, being the mother of necessity being the mother of invention. Well, that
would make sense.
Chris Sarandon, like, yeah.
They were already divorced by then. And the thing is too, Kurt, you mentioned like that Gremlins set the table for this, but a lot of those Chucky effects actually happen in the daylight. They actually don't happen like completely in the dark, except for the car. And I'll talk about my physics issues with the car later on.
With Gremlins, a lot of the like more sophisticated animatronics would just do with like, the close-ups of the faces. When it was the outside, it was just clearly a puppet.
Well, that also felt too like with this. The doll really came alive in the close-ups with the fact that the mouth moves, the eyes move, they all crunch, and all that. But again, practical effects, being able to utilize marionettes, actually putting a little person into a costume for some of the
the
quick running shots.
The guy who played Howard the Duck was the guy who played the Chucky when he was like walking, and he did the fire stunt too.
So you're saying when Chucky was climbing up the fire escape outside the hospital, that wasn't a doll?
No, that was a person in a suit.
Wow.
That was a little person in a suit. Another subtle thing that they did was when like at the beginning of the movie when he transfers his soul into the doll. The doll looks like a doll, like a My Buddy or like a Cabbage Patch Kid. It's plastic and it's got the little freckles and 3 symmetric dots on each cheek. But as the movie goes on, his soul stays in the body the longest. The skin becomes more rubbery, more. Wasn't
Amazingly, Joe.
But the eyes become sunken in. The hairline recedes.
Yep.
It looks more human than. Whoa! What happened?
I'm here. I can see you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I vanished. I'm sure I'll be back in a second.
I'm still here. Just go let my cat out.
Andy's gone off the screen now.
All right.
Where's he?
I'm dropping, coming back in.
Okay.
This
is what happens when you film live, folks. But yeah, it looks more human as it goes on. Shrunken eyes, receding hairline. You talk. Oh, Joel, but you're older than Chucky. Also, the jacket that Brad Dourif wears at the beginning of the movie, he's like worn in like a bunch of other. That's his own personal jacket. It doesn't belong to the wardrobe department. That's his own personal jacket that he wears for like a bunch of scenes.
I mean, good for him.
I think he wore to one of the Lord of the Rings movies.
I mean, you know what? If you've been in that many movies, good for you. If you want to just, I want to wear that jacket. Okay. He's back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Andy's at the bottom.
Whoop.
Hey.
I mean, I could switch you guys around, but
nah, don't worry about it. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm the co-host now. I enjoyed a lot of the animatronics. I will say though, that car scene. So first of all, no way those tiny hands can produce enough force to push a knife through a car seat.
I was thinking about that after you texted me because it could only work if it was an amazingly sharp knife.
Right, it's a kitchen knife. Those things don't stay. As somebody who does a lot of cooking, those knives do not stay incredibly sharp.
No, they do not.
Yeah. I also really, it's funny. Like I'm watching this movie with my daughter, and it's like, man. For a serial killer, this dude still has some real serious impulse control issues. Yeah. Don't watch the news. You're fucking dead.
And speaking of that car scene, it's like, okay, you managed to, he managed to buck off with Chucky, and and then he stomps on the gas. I'm like, if you're in a limited space with someone behind you trying to kill you, I want to stop and get out. I don't want to go as fast as I can, so I can't get out.
Right. The one thing I can do is outrun Chucky. My legs are just much longer than his.
Yeah.
Same masses.
It could have.
Now we're gonna bring.
We don't know.
Now we got to bring the Pym theories in here. Oh.
Yeah.
Let me get my yarn and my whiteboard.
The biggest issue I had with this one is just like everyone. All those like stupid murder, like slasher murder victim tropes, this movie had them. and I'm like, there's a reason why these movies got better when they started having a sense of humor about it, because they just started poking fun at their own tropes. This one wasn't poking fun at the trope yet.
Yeah,
That's why.
No. I
Mm.
mean, I don't mind the tropes, but that's
a
me.
lot of this movie really relies on the "trust me, bro" mode of storytelling. It's like, okay, why is he doing all these incantations? Trust me, bro. Why is he turning human? Trust me, bro. It's almost like I feel like, and I know that this was well fleshed out, and they had a number of different ideas for this, but there are certain things about the rules of voodoo possession that they just kind of started making up as they went along.
Yeah. Well, the voodoo wasn't a part of the original script so much. That was added by Tom Holland. But like Don Mancini, after the movie had come out, it's like, why do we have this voodoo in here? It doesn't make any sense. So that's why it's not included in Child's Play. Right, expected. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't really have the voodoo like when he's at Dr. John's apartment, after using a voodoo doll to break his arm, break his leg, and basically stab him in the heart. Yeah, you don't see that. I mean, the only thing you see is like in the Child's Play, especially 2 and 3, is the incantation stuff.
Right.
Dembe do Bella. Yeah, that's all you really see. You don't see like the voodoo doll stuff because it doesn't make sense, because Chucky would just use the voodoo dolls to kill Andy, and he'd kill his mom, and he'd kill Chris Sarandon, and he would use it to kill Eddie Caputo, and not use the awesome way that he killed Eddie Caputo by blowing the pilot light out of the oven, turning the gas all the way up, and then have Eddie shoot his 6-shooter and then blow up in an awesome explosion stuff. Yeah. That's my favorite kill of the whole movie. Is that's
it actually is. It built quite a bit of suspense too, but the entire time I'm thinking, no way his legs are getting him out of that building fast enough.
Yeah, and that's another thing, is like that explosion was pretty big. Wasn't Andy like right in the yard?
Yeah.
Shouldn't Andy be a toasted corpse on the sidewalk at this point?
Explosions are different in Chicago. It's the Midwestern air.
It's the Chicago wind, They don't call it the Windy City for nothing. Hey, you could be standing right next to this exploding building. It ain't gonna hit you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
how those cubbies doing, huh?
Oh yeah, they're doing good. That's why I'm happy being average size. I don't have that problem.
I am a tall person, so I don't.
Yes, you are.
I would be able to make it out of there. But at least, Joe, now you've been able to indemnify yourself. So if anybody asks us about somebody dying in a building that blew up, we say, well, could have been Joe. His legs are too short to get out of that building on time. He'd be dead too.
Yeah.
Trust me, bro. This is one of those movies I could easily see enjoying a lot more when it came out.
Yeah.
I'm a cynical asshole now, so it's really tough for me to truly enjoy something I wasn't into when I was, the target.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old when this movie came out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was the target for this kind of stuff, and I'm like, just okay. I have my 16-year-old daughter watch it with me, going, check this out.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Meathead's stunt doubles getting choked out right now.
Yeah.
What even was Chris Sarandon's partner? It's like, did he wander in from another movie, from another decade? He's like, hey, I'm your partner now.
Yeah, completely superfluous. Yeah. He did not need to be in this movie.
I was gonna say he looked like he should have been an extra in Serpico or something.
Exactly.
Child's Play.
Yeah.
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 Every shitty aspect of a 70s cop was in there.
Yeah, we were testing.
Low hanging mustache.
When I was watching
obviously a comb over.
Yeah.
And Andy mentioned that he looked like he was like Rob Reiner's stunt double from
All Family.
Family.
He looks like Meathead.
Yeah.
I was like, no, he looks like a meathead, not the meathead, just a meathead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
It's
I just
it's
joined the
meat
force to
from
get
Porky's.
tail.
Burn like a tire
Or like a
fire.
tire fire.
Oh, he'd burn like the
But
Springfield
it
tire
would be
fire.
one excellent tire fire, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. You can see it from.
Yeah.
You can probably see the smoke from my house.
Overall,
God bless
I mean,
America.
Well, I have nothing else to say. Well, I mean, I was lucky enough to see this at an age, when I was getting into horror. So I think I have more of an, I don't want to say more of an appreciation, but like more of a like for this movie than it seems, like you guys seem to have. I mean, I don't think you guys hated it so much, but
No.
you just don't have like
Right.
what I have with it, because
It's
you guys saw it more recently
Yeah.
and I saw it for the first time about a decade ago.
right,
So I've
right.
seen it.
Uh,
Yeah.
Something
But
smells good.
don't you know? Oh, Jen. Oh, Jen. No, Jen.
Jonna.
Donna.
Welcome, Jonna.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
Midwestern. Yeah.
yeah,
We
exactly.
Midwesterners. We
Yeah.
Midwesterners. We just cringe.
No mention of the pizza or anything
Notable,
like
yeah.
that in this
Notable
movie. I
accent.
mean, what kind
Yeah.
of
Notable
Chicago
accent.
is this?
Joe and I don't get notable accents because we live in Indiana, so we don't get the accents because
That's
him and I live
that's
closer to
true.
Ohio, so we
Yeah.
don't get the accent. Like if we lived closer to Chicago, then we get that Chicago accent. Talk like
Well,
freaking
I'm so
Dan
convinced that
Aykroyd and the Blues Brothers.
I was gonna say there really isn't a Chicago accent. It's Dan Aykroyd.
No.
If you're doing a Chicago accent, you're doing Dan Aykroyd doing a Chicago accent.
Oh yeah, you talk like this. You talk like this. You get a burger.
Yeah.
You get a burger and a brat, and you go down to the Bears game.
I never got that the use of Southern accents in Indiana.
Which is only down around the border, down around like not Evansville, because Evansville's closer to Illinois, but like closer towards like Louisville and shit like that,
Yeah.
where Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky meet. That's where you get that at.
It could be worse.
Not up here.
It could be someone trying to do a fake Boston accent.
Costner, I'm looking at you from 13 days.
Oh yeah, Boston.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I could do
As
the
somebody
Robert
who's
Evans.
lived
I
in
could do the
New
Robert
England-
Evans. Do the Robert Evans Boston accent where he talks like he's Australian.
Oh yeah, I love that accent. He starts talking like this. Oh, I'm from Boston. But yeah, no. As somebody who's lived in New England the vast majority of my life, thank God I've got a neutral accent.
Yeah.
It was the 2 years in North Carolina, 2 years in Virginia, and a year in New York. Boom. The massive Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wall,
Tuckies.
Kentucky. Yeah.
That actually sounds like a type of gas station / convenience / grocery store that people won't
Like a
shut the hell
Buc-ee's.
up about. We're going to
Yeah,
Tuckies.
it's like a Buc-ee's. Yeah. Oh, we're supposed to get one soon, hopefully.
Oh, a Tuckies?
No, a Buc-ee's.
I knew what you meant. I was hoping we could make this a real thing now.
Sorry, Andy didn't commit to the bit.
That's okay.
I can hear that. Yeah. This was
but
fun.
overall, in terms of Child's Play, this was a fun watch. Not something I need to go back to.
It wasn't the worst movie that we saw this month.
Oh no, not even this
like
month. This isn't even the worst movie I've seen in our month of movies. I'm sorry, Mike, but it's not.
No, I knew that Friday the 13th Part 6 would be under you. Honestly, for me, I still prefer this one over The Shining, if I'm honest.
That's fair.
The Kubrick just never does it for me.
I'm a Kubrick nerd, so
a lot of people are, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
Me, he's
That's
visual over substance.
That is absolutely
I get
fair.
you.
I got you.
That's a fair criticism. I mean, yeah, I could see that as someone who loves the absolute hell of Doctor Strange loves.
Yeah.
But
so
So it's not. I was expecting to hate it more than I did. This, Child's Play, but it's not. I still prefer Friday the 13th Part 6. I might even prefer Friday the 13th Part 8.
I could have been watching that one instead of 6. We took New York.
I prefer 6 over 8, but I prefer 8 over Child's Play.
Oh,
All right, I gotcha.
I could do magic with celluloid.
That's true. Well, hey, now he's got
Yeah.
his daughter here to take his place as the Hellspawn
Oh,
that needs
and
to hang out
info
here.
warrior. Yeah, his info warrior daughter.
His horrific racist daughter. Yep. So
Yep.
less said about
Yeah.
that, the better.
I'm
Anyway,
glad I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
oh,
Oh, Stanley
Kubrick's
Kubrick's
daughter
daughter's been on Alex Jones' show on a couple times,
is
and
the
she's a massive anti-Semite.
Yeah, that wasn't an invitation for you guys to tell me what I was missing.
okay. No worries.
Sorry.
No worries. But I will say, Kurt, thank you so much for joining us on our virtual trip tour throughout Chicago, watching a doll. Chicago, watching a doll viciously murder people and practice voodoo. Not once eating a slice of deep dish pizza.
Or eating a Chicago dog.
Or having a Chicago. Seriously.
Tavern style. Come on, people. We're in Chicago. Deep dishes for the tourists. Go with the tavern style. Tavern style is easier to eat.
But
which proves that none
so
of the
much.
actors who were in this movie are actually from Chicago. Because none of them had a Chicago dog.
Catherine Hicks went to school at Notre Dame, so that's kind of close. South Bend and Chicago are kind of close. That's
Then
how.
why did she have a Chicago dog?
I don't know.
She would have a Chicago dog. All right. Big New England shop doggies.
Lapses.
Chocolate lapses and gummy
pieces of brush.
Architecture.
That's it.
Yep. Pizza brust,
and
architecture, and a deep-seated hatred of the White Sox.
And the intro to Perfect Strangers.
Oh, that's right.
And Married with Children.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I will say this movie makes me want to go back and rewatch Puppet Master 3, 4, and 5.
Oh yeah. Oh, those Puppet Master movies. Those are good. Those are fun.
1 and 2 are all right. For me, 3, 4, and 5 is where they start getting fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Kurt, thanks again for joining us. Joe, thanks for contributing today.
Yeah.
Jonathan, thanks for joining us as well. Thank you, everybody.
Go watch Joe's stuff if you haven't yet. Joe makes those awesome Scooby-Doo videos where he ranks the villains and stuff, which is... Or the Puppet Master. Yeah, they did. I watched it. It was good. But yeah, Joe makes those awesome Scooby-Doo rankings lists where he ranks the villains, which is good stuff. Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool guy.
Yep, follow that. I will.
Together, I hope the Minor 49er made the top 10.
You'll have to go find out now, won't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, we have one more week. By the way, Mike and I miscounted how we were how our Shriek Salad and Spooktober thing went, and we miscounted. We thought we were only going to have 4 weeks. We actually have 5 weeks. So, thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, you're not gonna want to miss next week then, because next week we're doing a real horror movie, one that genuinely still scares me.
Ooh.
And I'm not telling you what it is until next week. No. But we did get that extra week. I am so looking forward to talking about this one. But if you're just tuning in, thank you for watching Child's Play. We did this all month long. So we talked about The Shining. We talked about American Werewolf in London. We talked about Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. All part of our 80s look back at 80s horror movies. You can even go back even further to last year. We talked about in the 70s. We talked about Exorcist. And we found out that our friend Derek Jones had never seen The Exorcist until we asked him to join us for it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Totally convinced it was one of his favorite movies of all time. And he'd never seen it.
That blew my mind when he said that, too.
You know, we've been doing Geek Salad for over 16 years right now, but that is in the top 10 greatest Geek Salad moments ever. But he realized I've never seen this movie before.
Ballistics X versus... Oh, we do not talk about Ballistics X versus Sever. That is one of the worst movies ever made.
It's one of the few with 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I was going to say, it is.
I refuse to put the GBA game on my retro gaming system, so...
Ooh. That's
okay.
It's a good one. Even though you consider like the Lutz family was full of crap, and a lot of the stuff that they said happened didn't happen, but still a good movie. I love
Yeah.
Ambries of Horror.
Yeah, I think definitely the high watermark of like really genuinely scary horror is the 70s. That's just me.
Yeah.
So anyway, check that out. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, because we do this every week. Give this the video a big thumbs up. Helps us in the algorithm. If you are a fan of Child's Play, leave a polite comment below, because we want to know what your thoughts are on this. Also, Mike and I, head this way, host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Currently, we just launched our look back at 50 seasons of SNL and our favorite cast members. Coming up, we've got a mammoth episode coming up in the month of November. We're going to be talking about the movies of 1994. Come hell or high water, M from Verbal Diorama will be joining us in at least one of the installments, because 94 might be the greatest year of the 90s across all 12 months for movie releases. So it is going to be
absolutely
a big one. It's going to be an absolute big undertaking. So there's definitely going to be multiple episodes there.
If you're a fan of Married to Children like I am, Biggins has something very different.
Gotcha. I wasn't. So anyway, you can also follow us on socials. We are on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast, and on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Threads at Geek Salad Radio. This is dead as 1939. I don't think I got that reference. Oh, 94. Nothing big came out. Nothing.
Oh,
nothing at all.
Nothing came out of significance or cultural importance or anything. Nothing came out in 1994. Everyone was sleeping in 1994.
Whatsoever. And that is why the station TBS doesn't exist anymore. You can trace back how I worked that joke, and you can laugh at it when it hits you finally. Kurt's already got it. So anyway, Kurt, again, thank you very much. Thank you everybody who watched. Thank you everybody who contributed tonight. Kurt, where do we find you?
You can find me on Facebook if you search my name, Kurt Smith. You can still find me on Twitter. I might not be on Twitter that much longer, depending on the block button feature. So I might ditch Twitter finally and just stick strictly to Blue Sky, which is where you can also find me at Swayze of Arabia, both on Twitter and Blue Sky. I am on Letterboxd, which is on both linked on my Twitter, my Blue Sky, my Instagram, which is also Swayze_of_Arabia. My Letterboxd, I'm about ready to drop this in, today's 23rd, so in about 8 days, I will finish my 31 Days of Horror, and on the 9th day, I will rank all 31 movies I have watched for the first straight year.
I cannot wait,
so look for that.
I love seeing what garbage you scraped off your shoe and put on that list.
Oh, yeah, and also this Sunday on Trivial Theater's YouTube channel, her and I are hosting a game of riff tracks for Halloween.
Ooh!
So
I'll try that.
Yeah. So, and they just added some new clips from Creating Rem Lazar and from Point Break, and one other of the recent riff tracks they just did. So if you're free on Sunday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 12 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, please come join us, because we're going to have fun, we're going to riff, and we're going to make dirty jokes, and we're just going to have a hell of a good time.
Awesome.
Like we always do.
Nice. So anyway, thank you, Kurt. Thank you, everybody. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth, be nerdful, and give me the boy and I'll let you live.
Yeah, one in right before we close.
Gotta get the last word in.
Yep.